Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I'm back with a new video. This is my recent reads number 91, where I talk about the first books I read in January 2024. Okay, before I go further and explain how this is so different, want to direct your attention to the links in my description for ways you can support the Palestinians and help end the genocide, and ways you can support the people of Congo and potentially help end their enslavement in the mines there. Unfortunately, these situations are ongoing, and so I will still keep mentioning them. Please share this information with your loved ones and friends and anyone else so that we can all learn more and hopefully help as much as possible. I am still learning more about what is going on in Sudan, so I have not shared any links with regards to that just yet, but I will when I can. If you have information and links, please feel free to comment or send me a message. My socials are in the description as well. I'd appreciate it, and I'm sure others would also. Now, what I'm doing here, I kind of want to switch up how I've been doing my recent reads. Quite often I wind up scrambling to get all the books together, or I have to return the books before I'm able to film, and editing them digitally into my videos is a pain in the ass. So that's quite often why you'll get a delay in these recent reads, and that's why I call them recent reads. So my aim is to just talk about them as I'm reading them or as I finish them, if nothing else. So I don't have to hold on to books I finished early in the month till I finish the later ones, if that makes any kind of sense. So these are sort of going to be vlog style, but not completely. I don't plan on having any B-roll really unless I'm listening to an audiobook. So probably not gonna really have anything with regards to me reading, actually. You're not gonna see me reading. I've done reading vlogs, and I can 100% say that it will never happen again. But yeah, I've already finished one book. I meant to film this yesterday, but then I didn't, because I finished the book yesterday. I just didn't think, and then it was late, and I was like, I don't feel like talking, and it's dark, and I don't feel like setting up lighting and all of that stuff. Daytime updates are wonderful. While I'm waiting for my lunch to heat up, I'm going to tell you about finishing my first book of 2024, You Bought Me the Ocean. This is by Alex Sanchez, artwork by Yulee Moreau. And wow, I love this. This was the December pick for the Realm of Comics Book Club 2023 version, and I didn't get to squeak it in December. I'm kind of kicking myself over that because I really enjoyed this, and I want to read some more of these. I just have to figure out how to find them, because I still haven't figured out how to find the life story books like Spider-Man's. So we're following Jake, who is a teenager in, I think, New Mexico. Yeah. Truth and Consequences, New Mexico. What a town name. This is set in the DC universe. Everything's taking place in that backdrop. And Jake is finding himself, learning about himself. He really wants to get a career in oceanography later on in life. He's soon to graduate high school and needs to apply to colleges. His mom does not want him to have anything to do with water because his dad drowned. And he has this best friend, Maria, who they're like this. But she's very much like, I don't want to stay in town and only want to go to school like somewhere local, because she's very into the local land and wildlife and that kind of thing. So there's that. And then Jake is also starting to realize that he likes boys, particularly this one guy on the swim team, Kenny. There's also this weird thing with some birthmarks that he has. So I love this. It was very sweet. I don't like how it ended, though. So I don't know what to... I haven't given it a star rating yet. I want to say 4, but I also want to say 5. So I should just say 4.5, right? Like, this was just enough. So I think 4 is going to be it. Because while I enjoyed it, it just feels like I wish there was more. I want to know the rest of the story, and I think this is it. This is a standalone graphic novel. But I guess I would just have to read more about Jake to know more. Like, the chemistry between him and Kenny was just... I was like, wow, I really need a romance book, because there wasn't enough of that. I saw some people were not happy about Maria's reaction, and maybe, I don't know, because of who I am, I'm not that upset about it. I was surprised, the reveal towards the end. I was like, I did not know going into this what graphic novels for young adults from DC meant. Like, it's a DC graphic novels for young adults. I was like, what does that mean? And then in the synopsis is like, all of this with the backdrop of the DC universe. So, like, towards the beginning, Maria and Jake are out on a hike and they see Superman fly over. Like, and in the backdrop, there's been on the news about some submarine being missing, and they're getting what's his name, Aquaman's help with that. So it's very interesting. I think some of the ones in the back also talk about... Oh, yeah. So there's a couple books in the back, like comic books mentioned, that I might be interested in. There's this other thing. I don't know if this is one of them, but Lauren Miracle, Victor and Nora, Gotham Love Story. That also seems interesting. And we get like a sneak peek of that. Wonder Woman, Tempest Tossed, and Shadow of the Batgirl. Yeah, graphic novel for young adults. And then they have books for Pride Month. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it the 4 stars because it feels like something's missing. The next book, I'm reading. I started an audiobook. I started a while ago, but I forgot. And then I was looking at my Libby, due dates, and I was like, oh, I need to finish this. It's due in 6 days. That is, hi guys. So, you may be wondering, why is she in her usual spot? It is February 20th. I only have 2 more books here to talk to you about. I thought if I did it like this, it wouldn't happen like that, but you know, this is not the only problem I have. So, not to drag this out, neither one of those books that I finished is the one I was last talking to you about. But I am working on that now, hopefully. Alright, let me get into it. I desperately wanted romance, and after a week and a half of hemming and hawing, because that's what happens. Like, I just lose a week and a half every month of desperately wanting a romance, but not having one that I really want on hand, or being like, no, but I need to finish certain things by a certain time so I don't have to renew books, and then wind up doing it anyway because, yeah. So, the next book I finished was Criminal Intentions Season 1, Episode 1. This is by Cole McCade, and I read the ebook. I think I bought this ebook in 2022. If not, it was early 2023. This is a romantic suspense series, I guess. And I haven't read one of these in years. I was immediately in love with this and ready to pick up the next one, which I don't own. Hoopla does have them on audio, but I am not... How do I put this? I don't want to read romance via audio. I cringe at the thought of hearing the sex scenes or hearing the lovey-doveyness. Hey guys, editing Lashette here, and I have made the probably colossal mistake of deciding to make this like reading vlog or series wrap-up experience. So that's all I'm going to tell you about reading this first book in the Criminal Intentions series by Cole McCade. Hope for hopefully soon a, if not full series wrap-up review, then at least the first half, because I can't wait. And at this point, I have already read book 2, so the next book I just finished because I struggled bust through this. Oh my god, I have to go and change my Goodreads and my Storygraph because I finished Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, and I've never read this before. I have had this for years. Oh yeah, I've read this. And I realized, having read it, that I have not. I did not have it in school. I thought I had, but there's no way. There is no way. I would have remembered this language. It's so off-putting. There's at least one other person who's who's attempting to read this via audio, and she's just like, I can't get past the language and the accents. It's in English, but possibly Old English. So this is a classic. If you're unaware, I'm doing a read-along. I'm hosting a read-along this year called the Remix Classics Read-Along, where we're reading Macmillan Publishing's Remix Classics series. I'm doing that because it's not really a series, but I wanted to try reading the original classics or rereading the original classics just before reading the remix versions to see what the similarities and differences are, to have them fresh in my head. I know this story because my father very much enjoys it, and I've seen so many iterations of Treasure Island in movie form. I kid you not. Like, from old, not black and white, but like, I don't know, old movies you know, on sound stages to Disney versions to animated things like Treasure World. What was it? Treasure Planet, excuse me. And I've seen so many other pirate island adventure movies like kind of take from this story that I thought I had read it and I hadn't, because like I said, oh my god, I don't even know, 2 stars. I haven't read it yet, but I don't know that I would say this is well written. I need to look more into, how people talked in that time, particularly if we're talking about landed gentry. I was expecting the pirate talk because I think, again, this influences a lot of that in a lot of books and movies and things like that. And, it's possibly based off of how pirates and sailors talked back in those days. So this was written in 1850, I think. 1883. 1883. And it's, seen as this, like, island adventure of a young boy. It's an adventure story, like, but a British one, I guess. I just don't want to claim this as American. Following Jim Hawkins, a kid who finds himself, through no fault of his own, in possession of a treasure map, and he takes it to the local squire who decides he wants to follow this map and go on the treasure hunt, because hearing the kid's story and how he got the map, he figures, oh, well then, that was a famous pirate, basically. Buccaneer. What do they call them? I can't remember the words. So, for reasons I don't understand, maybe because they're like, well, if I want to be in an adventure, Jim must want to go too. So he takes Jim with him and the doctor, who they both know, and outfits a ship to go to this island. Little does he know that other than a handful of crew, most of the people he's hired, because he's not a sailor, are pirates. And they plan to, go along with the plan to sail to this island and get this bounty and then take over the ship. Jim finds out and things go crazy. It's wild. It's violent. Things I didn't like, a lot of the language, particularly from the adults. I feel like when Jim is just by himself, or, he's narrating story, it's not, like, he's narrating the story but not telling what other people said. It's pretty straightforward and understandable. Not modern English, but not too different. When he's, retelling what the adults around him are saying, it becomes like all of this talking around stuff. And I'm not even talking about Long John Silver at this point. I'm talking about just the other adults, the regular non-piratey people. And like nothing they say is straightforward. And they take forever to get to the point, most of them. And just like, then there's Long John Silver, who is, part of it is because he's so successful as a pirate because he has a gift of gab. So he's convincing everybody all kinds of things constantly. And I understand that, the charisma that comes across. And he fools various people, though Jim, after a while, trying to kind of gets his rhythm and figures out how he operates personally. But then there's the pirates. Oh my goodness. So, like, the language, not 100% happy with, especially since there's a whole section where we leave Jim and we're looking at it from, I think, is it the doctor's perspective? And I was like, why? Yes, narrative continued by the doctor. And I was like, oh Jesus Christ, please save me, because I don't know if I'll get through. There are some times we're just going through too much detail. If you don't know sailing terms, boatish things, then you can get lost. I was definitely reminding myself of things like forecastle and what is it, starboard versus whatever have you, the hold and all of that stuff, because that's still used today, though I'm still questioning why. There's certain things, like, these are the same whether they're on land or on a ship. Why did people give them a different name in the same language? Moving on. That took me out of the story. There are parts, like I said, where it's just too much details about, like, how Jim got off the ship and then up a hill. And I'm just like, I don't want to read this anymore. But Lashette, come on, finish the story. So 2 stars. I know the adventure part. The beginning completely surprised me because I was like, what is all of this? Before we get to the city and the getting a ship and all of that stuff, there's this whole thing, how Jim winds up with the map. And I didn't know any of that. And so I was very confused. It took me 2 weeks to get through that part. 50-ish pages. But the pace picked up from there, and the adventure started actually happening. I guess in the beginning there was some adventure, but it was just like, but why? Who are these people? What is going on? I don't remember all of this. So it is what it is. I can't say I hated it. I think that the adventure parts made sense. There was a character in here I asked my dad about, because I was like, there's a random stranger marooned on the island. He was like, oh yeah, Ben Gunn. And I'm like, I don't remember that. Not from any of the movies. None of this stuff. So I don't know. Right? I was just like waiting for the parts that I knew about. 2 stars. I get it, but I didn't love it. And I finally read it though. So that's probably going to be it for this first half. I'm going to continue trying this whole like update as I go thing. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. Yeah, the next bookish video will be probably my January wrap up where I talk about the last of the books I read in the month. I don't know what those are going to be. Well, I do. I'm going to read Clash of Steel, which is the remix classic based on Treasure Island. I heard it was good, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm hopefully going to finish Before They Were Hanged. Maybe I can also finish the 1619 project, but don't hold your breath. And The Bone Shard's Daughter, which is the Enchanted Forest book club pick for January. That is the book club by Paco at Bad Witch Books. I'm interested in the series, so I got the book. Maybe some manga in there. We'll see. I got about 10 days. Links in the description to everything I mentioned, including continuing to post links about what is going on in Palestine and what is going on in Congo, ways you can support the people, particularly by writing to your local representatives and senators here in the U.S., and sending humanitarian aid, whether that be funds, eSIMs, food, water, clothing. Please think about the women as well. They are going without period products, menstruation products. So if you can find a way to support that, that would be helpful as well. There's also a 10% off discount code in my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products for magical mundane purposes if you are interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.